Charleston White has inserted himself into Cardi B and Nicki Minaj's ongoing feud. And this time, his comments aren't just about music, they're about identity, race, and loyalty. Stay with me until the end of this clip, because the things he said during his latest live stream are setting the internet on fire. And insiders are already warning that this could push the Cardi versus Nicki beef into dangerous new territory.
One thing I know about Nicki Minaj, she didn't nobody to get to the top. Birdman didn't Drake didn't she did not her way to the top, unlike Cardi. That's how you know black women and young black girls is up, because they side with Cardi B over the Queen Nicki. This Nicki out there on mine, baby. Cardi B is a fire.
During a recent live stream, Charleston White looked into the camera and asked a chilling question. Why are black women siding with Cardi B, an Afro-Latina, instead of standing behind Nicki Minaj, the sister? His tone was harsh, his words sharp, and the impact immediate. Within minutes, Twitter, or should I say X, was exploding with clips of the rant, as users debated whether White was exposing hidden truths or just pouring gasoline on a feud that's already out of control. One viral tweet read, "Charleston White really trying to turn Cardi versus Nicki into a race war. Nah, we not doing that." Another added, "Cardi is loved by black women because she been supporting us. Don't twist it." But perhaps the scariest replies came from fans who agreed with White, saying they were done with Cardi for taking up space that belongs to a real black queen. And let's be clear, this isn't just about Twitter talk. A leaked DM, allegedly from an industry executive, claimed, "Charleston's words are dividing the fan bases in a way that makes the feud harder to stop. We might see public clashes beyond the music." If that's true, then White may have just transformed a rap rivalry into a cultural battlefield. Cardi B herself didn't stay quiet. Hours after White's live stream, she posted a cryptic tweet that read, "When you can't beat me on music, you bring up everything else. Stay mad, I'm winning." Fans immediately assumed this was aimed at Charleston White, though others speculated it could have also been a subtle shot at Nicki Minaj. The ambiguity only added fuel to the fire. Meanwhile, Nicki's camp hasn't issued an official response, but barbs on social media are celebrating White's commentary. One fan posted, "Finally someone said it. Nicki Minaj is the one and only. Cardi is an outsider." Another tweeted, "Charleston White just did what Nicki can't. He checked the culture." These messages are now being screenshot and shared across TikTok, intensifying the narrative that the feud has turned into something much darker. But here's where things get even stranger. A clip surfaced where White compared Cardi B's rise to colonization. In his words, "She came into rap, got the love of black women, and now she's using it against Nicki Minaj." The analogy has shocked people, not just for its racial undertones, but for its insinuation that Cardi's success is a betrayal. Insiders close to Cardi claim she was furious when she heard this. One alleged text from her team reads, "We're not letting Charleston White paint this as a race issue. That's dangerous. It's about music, not ethnicity." If true, Cardi isn't just fighting Nicki anymore. She's battling a public perception war that threatens to rewrite her entire image. Meanwhile, Charleston White doubled down. The next day, he posted a follow-up clip where he said, "I don't care who don't like it. I'm speaking facts. Y'all gave the throne away, and now y'all mad when Nicki can't get it back. Don't blame me, blame the fans." His smug delivery made the video go viral, pulling in over 2 million views within 24 hours. The scary part? People are starting to echo his words offline. A leaked audio clip from a nightclub caught heated arguments between Cardi and Nicki fans, with one side chanting "Team Cardi" and the other shouting "Nicki forever." According to witnesses, security had to break up multiple fights before the night was over. Think about that for a second. A feud that started over diss tracks and subtle jabs has now turned into physical altercations in real life. And the more Charleston White keeps talking, the more people seem ready to pick sides aggressively. Not just online, but in the streets. Industry blogs are reporting that Atlantic Records is monitoring the situation closely, after receiving threats tied to Cardi's upcoming shows. Sources say concert venues are tightening security, anticipating potential clashes between rival fan bases. For Cardi, this means her pregnancy and family life are now directly threatened by the chaos. And don't forget, Nicki Minaj isn't staying silent forever. Insiders claim she's preparing a new verse aimed squarely at Cardi. And now with Charleston White backing her up in the public eye, the pressure is building. Fans are asking, will Nicki weaponize White's words in her diss? Or will she distance herself from him to avoid backlash? But as this all unfolds, one thing is becoming clearer. Charleston White may not just be a commentator. He could be a catalyst. By framing this as a question of loyalty and identity, he's raised the stakes higher than ever before. And if history tells us anything, when Charleston inserts himself into a feud, things rarely calm down. Which brings us to the next big question. If Charleston White has already dragged race and loyalty into the Cardi versus Nicki feud, what happens when new insiders start leaking receipts, private messages, and maybe even calls that show just how divided the industry really is? Stick around, because in the next Face, we'll uncover shocking leaks and possible betrayals that could make this feud spiral completely out of control. Right after Charleston White's livestream went viral, something eerie began surfacing. Screenshots of alleged industry group chats started spreading on X, showing executives debating whether to lean into White's comments to fuel engagement around Cardi B and Nicki Minaj's feud. If real, it suggests that people with money and power might be quietly encouraging division for profit. One leaked message supposedly from a marketing executive read, "This is messy, but it's driving numbers. Let the fans argue. Streams are up 20% since Charleston spoke." That line alone had fans panicking, asking whether their loyalty and outrage were being exploited for clicks and dollars. But it didn't stop there. Another screenshot claimed that certain influencers were being paid to amplify Charleston's comments, reposting his clips, and tagging Cardi B with inflammatory captions. While no names have been confirmed, this rumor is gaining traction fast, and fans are demanding receipts. Meanwhile, Cardi's fan base, the Barty Gang, has launched an online campaign called One Stop the Divide, insisting that Black women and Afro-Latinas don't need Charleston White to tell them who to support. But instead of calming the storm, it's made Nicki's fan base, the Barbs, even more defiant, flooding hashtags with taunts like, "We ride with Nicki, not the outsider." In the middle of this chaos, a disturbing audio clip leaked. In it, a man alleged to be Charleston White is heard saying, "I'm just saying what Nicki can't say herself. She know I'm right, she just can't risk it." If authentic, that suggests White isn't acting alone. He may be positioning himself as Nicki's unofficial mouthpiece, a move that could inflame things beyond repair. Nicki Minaj's camp, however, has stayed suspiciously silent on the clip. No confirmation, no denial, just silence. And sometimes, silence speaks louder than words. Fans are now speculating that Nicki may actually be benefiting from White's explosive commentary, even if she's not directly endorsing Cardi B, on the other hand, appears to be on edge. Insiders claim she's been making frantic calls to her team about safety at her shows, after anonymous threats started flooding her management's inbox. One chilling email read, "Don't bring Cardi to our city. We stand with Nicki and we mean it." And while Cardi is dealing with threats, Nicki's supporters are doubling down. At a recent pop-up event, fans were spotted holding posters that read, "Nicki the Sista, Cardi the Guest." Eyewitnesses say the posters caused heated arguments, with some attendees leaving the event in fear of fights breaking out. What's most frightening here is that Charleston White has essentially weaponized words. He's made this feud about identity, heritage, and belonging, turning what was once lyrical sparring into something with real-world consequences. And every time he posts, the fallout grows bigger. But here's a twist no one saw coming. A well-known journalist claims they've received DMs from anonymous sources, alleging that Charleston White was paid to insert himself into the feud at this exact moment. Why? To distract from another major scandal brewing in the music industry involving a powerful record label. If true, that would mean Charleston isn't just stirring the pot for his own ego. He's a distraction, a pawn in a bigger game. Fans are starting to wonder, is this feud being manipulated to keep our eyes off something even darker behind the scenes? And the timing lines up in strange ways. Cardi just announced her pregnancy with Stefon Diggs, Nicki's been teasing a comeback project, and Offset's divorce drama is still making headlines. Could Charleston's comments be designed to drown out all of those stories, replacing them with chaos and division? TikTok creators are now dissecting Charleston White's live stream frame by frame, looking for slips in his language, moments where he hints at who may be backing him. One viral video argues that his repeated use of the phrase, "Nicki can't say it," was intentional, meant to plant the idea that Nicki herself co-signs his views. And just when fans thought they had a handle on things, another bombshell dropped. A mysterious account on X posted a blurry screenshot of what looks like an email exchange between White and a record label rep. The caption? "Proof Charleston was paid to speak. More to come." The post has since been deleted, but not before it was screenshotted and spread everywhere. So now the question is no longer, did Charleston White cross the line? The real question is, who sent him and why? Because if he's being used as a weapon in this feud, then what's about to unfold could expose shocking truths about the music industry, fan manipulation, and even the artists themselves. Stick around, because in Phase 3 we'll dive into the leaked evidence and the terrifying possibility that both Cardi and Nicki are pawns in a game much bigger than either of them. As if things weren't already spiraling, Phase 3 begins with a shocking late-night drop. A hacker collective posted a Google Drive link claiming to contain proof of Charleston White's communications with not just one, but multiple record labels. The files reportedly show payment invoices, email exchanges, and even contracts tying White to promotional activities disguised as live stream rants. One file, labeled Cardi Pushback Plan, allegedly outlines a strategy to use Charleston White's voice to turn public opinion against Cardi B, while framing Nicki as the authentic queen. The plan's bullet points mention things like target Black women, emphasize heritage divides, and attack Cardi's pregnancy narrative. If real, this goes far beyond drama. It's coordinated character assassination. And the files don't just mention Cardi. Another document titled Barb's Engagement Strategy lays out ways to mobilize Nicki Minaj's fan base by feeding them specific talking points through influencers. Suddenly, fans are realizing their tweets and hashtags might not be as organic as they thought. They may have been manipulated from the very start. Meanwhile, Cardi B herself finally spoke out in a shaky Instagram Live. In tears, she told viewers, "I ain't never signed up for this. I got kids, I got a family. And if you think I'm finna let some old man or these label people try to play with me, you got me twisted." The clip went viral instantly, with millions reposting it across TikTok and X. Nicki Minaj, however, stayed cryptic. Hours after Cardi's live, she posted a single black and white picture of a chessboard with the caption, "Know your position." Fans were left stunned. Was she sending a message about Charleston White being a pawn? Or was she saying Cardi doesn't understand the game she's trapped in? And as the mystery deepened, TikTok detectives uncovered even more. A voice note circulated in which a man, allegedly a senior exec at a major label, could be heard laughing, "We lit the fire. Now watch 'em burn. The fans don't know nothing." Though the authenticity hasn't been confirmed, the audio has fueled fears that everything playing out online is orchestrated entertainment with real human costs. What makes this scarier is the real-world impact. Outside a New York radio station where Cardi was set to appear, clashes broke out between her supporters and Nicki's barbs. Police were forced to intervene after bottles were thrown, and chants of "Cardi's a fraud" erupted in the streets. Witnesses said the scene felt like a protest, turning into a riot. Charleston White, of course, poured gasoline on the flames. He went live again, this time boasting, "I told y'all I run this conversation, they scared of me, labels need me, fans need me, I'm the truth." But what caught everyone's attention wasn't his words. It was the luxury watch on his wrist. Internet sleuths quickly matched it to a limited edition timepiece worth over $120,000, asking, how did he afford this overnight? Then came the ultimate shocker. TMZ reported that subpoenas have been issued in connection with a federal investigation into fraudulent marketing and online manipulation within the music industry. Charleston White's name was reportedly mentioned in early documents. If true, that means government eyes are now watching this feud closely. But it doesn't end with Charleston. Rumors are swirling that both Cardi and Nicki could be dragged into questioning, not as suspects, but as possible victims of manipulation. Imagine that. Two of hip-hop's biggest stars unknowingly turned into puppets in a corporate money game. Insiders are whispering about other artists, too. Screenshots suggest similar divide-and-conquer tactics were tested on other female rappers, JT, Megan Thee Stallion, and even Doja Cat. If that's the case, Charleston White's rant was just the tip of an iceberg designed to pit women against each other for clout and cash. Even Stefon Diggs, Cardi's boyfriend, is getting dragged into the mess. A sports blog claimed that Diggs' management was approached about controlling Cardi's public narrative during her pregnancy. While Diggs hasn't spoken publicly, fans fear that his relationship with Cardi could be collateral damage in a feud she never truly started. And now, the paranoia is at an all-time high. Fans don't know what's real anymore. Are tweets authentic or part of a strategy? Are live streams genuine or scripted? Has every argument in this feud been manipulated by forces behind the curtain? The line between reality and industry illusion is blurring dangerously. Then, just when the storm felt unbearable, a chilling post hit X from an anonymous account. "Y'all ain't ready for the final leak. Tomorrow, the truth about the Puppet Masters comes out. It's bigger than Cardi, bigger than Nicki, bigger than Charleston." The post vanished minutes later, but not before sparking panic across the internet. So here we are, two rap queens unknowingly caught in a sinister game. Charleston White flaunting wealth he shouldn't have, leaked files pointing to industry puppeteers, and a federal probe looming in the shadows. And now the biggest question remains: who's really pulling the strings? And what happens when the final leak drops? Stay tuned, cousins, because this story isn't ending. It's only getting darker. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell because the next twist could change everything you thought you knew.